The news tonight, petrol subsidy removal. Anambra State Assembly urges private business owners to provide palliative package for their workers. Mrs. Soludo repeats call for healthy nutrition to reduce health challenges. Federal government to commence disbursement of 50,000 naira to market women. On the foreign scenes, a 14-year-old boy allegedly kills 2 people in Thailand mall shooting. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Uchechukwu Ibonam. Anambra State House of Assembly has passed a resolution appealing to captains of industry and private establishment in Anambra State to emulate the palliative measures of Governor Chukwuma Soludo and the effect same in the private sector to cushion the effect of economic hardship in the workforce. House of Assembly passed the resolution following the motion of urgent public importance sponsored by the Majority Leader Chief Ikenna Ofodeme during plenary. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwemeka Mordalim now reports.
Explaining the motion, Chief Ofodeme observed that the continuous rise in the cost of living in Nigeria has reduced the purchasing power of an average worker in the state, and that most workers in the private sector can hardly meet their basic needs in the face of the current economic challenges without palliative measures to cushion the effect. He lamented that the situation has compelled many workers in the state to resort to various ethical and unethical means to survive while giving room to corporate begging at workplace. On his part, the Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Chukwuma Okoye, said that a consequential palliative measure will enable private sector workers in Anambra State to adjust to the prevailing economic situation, thereby improving productivity.
It's not easy these days doing business, but sharing a little palliative like rice, Indomie, granola, all these small things will go a long way in helping the poor. One of my constituents yesterday from Umao is the owner of Pinatech Hotel and Suits, Pinatech Engineering Company. Know that millions of naira yesterday and poured over 500 indigenous from Oka Sound, giving them bags of rice, Indomie, both keke, shorty. This is what we want in our society.
In their separate speeches, the member representing Nnewi South 1 constituency, Honorable Nonso Atuchukwu, and the member representing Njikoka constituency 2, Dr. Jude Apwa, noted that the precarious economic situation of Nigeria demands that business owners should show empathy to their workers and make working conditions favorable to them to alleviate their sufferings. Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Somtochukwu Udeze, called on captains of industries to show love to the less privileged around them by enrolling them into Anambra State Health Insurance Scheme to give them access to quality Medicare, as most of them that are sick cannot afford to treat themselves.
To emulate the palliative measures of Mr. Governor for the charge Chukwuma Soludo and effect same in the private sector to cushion the effect of economic hardship on the workforce. Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
From the State House of Assembly, Chukwemeka Mordalim, ABS News.
Anambra Governor's wife, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has called for urgent action to modify the overproduction and overconsumption of foods and beverages that do not undergo healthy production and nutritional history. Soludo, who stated this in Oka while running a review of her healthy living projects over the last month, noted that she was very concerned about excessive consumption of foods with high content of sodium, sugar, and unhealthy fats as against low intake of whole grains, pulses, vegetables, and fruits. Government House correspondent Daniel Izigwe found the report taken from here.
insisting that going full organic remains the surest way to cut down emerging killer diseases. Governor Swag stated that reducing sodium intake is one of the most effective measures to improve health and reduce the burden of non-communicable diseases. She further added that the World Health Organization (WHO's) current statistics recorded that an estimated 1.89 million deaths each year associated with consuming too much salt, which calls for another look at the health value of foods that everyone consumes. Mrs. Soludo, who is a practicing nutritionist and right health advocate, listed the primary health effects associated with diets high in salt to include high blood pressure, increasing the risk of cardiovascular diseases, gastric cancer, and obesity, among others. She also called for the review of recipe for food products to reduce the salt content and the setting of target levels for the amount of salt in foods and meals, especially among households. For adults, WHO recommends less than 2,000 milligrams per day of sodium, equivalent to just a teaspoon, while for children aged 2 to 15 years, it recommends adjusting the adult dose downward based on their energy requirements. According to the Global Health Watchdog, this recommendation for children does not address the period of exclusive breastfeeding 0 to 6 months or complementary feeding with continued breastfeeding 6 to 24 months. All salt that is consumed, WHO says, should be iodized, which is essential for healthy brain development in the fetus and young child, as well as optimizing people's mental function in general.
The Managing Director, Anambra Broadcasting Service, Okasa Chido Obidehu, says the establishment is committed to promoting the speaking and writing of Igbo language. Sachido made the promise while speaking at ABS headquarters, Oka, during declaring open the Suguna Day, a secondary school competition targeted at promoting the speaking, reading and writing of Igbo language. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzokoye has details.
Sugunude is an acronym for Soba, Goba, Noba, Madebe, Igbo, and was organized by Anambra Broadcasting Service in collaboration with Ozomi Igbo and OCI Foundation, while the traditional ruler of Alo community, Igwe Mark Anthony Okonkwo, is the royal father of the program and co-sponsor. Sir Chido lamented that many Igbo people feel ashamed to speak their language and encourage parents to start early at home to teach their words how to speak their language, as well as exposing them to Igbo culture and tradition. He extolled Governor Chukwuma Soludo for his efforts in the education sector, especially for endorsing the program, which he said will help secondary school students to see the importance of speaking and writing Igbo language.
Kona agbatafa n'uche egburu ọkpụkpụ tinye ka egburukwa anụ tinye a na-asụ ụmụaka oyibo a na-asụkwara Igbo.
The leader of Ozomi Igbo, Mazi Obinwoye, praised ABS for being in the forefront of promoting Igbo language through their program, while calling on Ndi Igbo, wherever they are, to be proud of their roots, culture, traditions, and language. The director of programs of ABS, Mrs. Nneka Ekunife, advised students to consider Igbo language as important, as it is a good way to identify their kids and kin when they are far from home.
Onya ka iji wee fu eji wee na-ekpo onya Sugunude ịsụwa ịgụwa idekwa Igbo so na ihe anyị bịalụ tata.
On her part, the production manager of the program, Mrs. Ifi Unachukwu, said they targeted young people and students in secondary schools because that is the only way to correct the wrong attitude people hold against the Igbo language. Two of the participants, Chiamaka Nkemmelo and Ifeoma Chukwu Obiora, said the program will go a long way to turn people around from being ashamed about speaking Igbo language and end the era where teachers punish students for speaking Igbo language in class. The competition drew students from schools in Anambra Central, North, and South Senatorial districts. In Oka, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Knights of St. John International 434 and Lux 363, St. Patrick's Cathedral, Oka, has celebrated its 40th anniversary. The event, which commenced with the Holy Mass at the Knight of St. John International Hall at the Cathedral, attracted members of the group. members of the political class, the clergy, and the academia, among others. Chibuzo Okoye has details.
At the Holy Mass to mark the ceremony, the Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Paulinus Ezokafo, who spoke through his secretary, Very Reverend Father Evaristius Ifanacha, said that the event coincided with the feast of St. Jerome, who is one of the doctors of the church, and described knights as soldiers of Christ who must defend the church and her teachings. Bishop Ezokafo admonished them to live exemplary lives that are expected of knights, and prayed God to continue to lead and guide them. The Grand President, Awka Grand Commandery, Sir Jonathan Ezuchu, also commended the organizers of the event for a job well done and asked their members to be more responsive to their duties both in the church and the community at large. Earlier in a welcome address, the President, Commander 434 Awka, Sir Vincent Otipa, paid tribute to those whose efforts culminated in what they were celebrating, including the late Bishop Albert Obiefuna, whom he said granted the approval for the establishment of the commandery. Mentioning some of the achievements, he said that the commandery, which started with 22 members, has at present 158 members, and that there are 11 new commanderies that have bettered 434, adding that they also bought a 24-seater bus to alleviate the transport problems of their members, among others.
To be a knight, what we are talking about is the mission of Christ. So my advice to them, to my guests and the people around them, and even my members, is for us to always emulate Christ and move, forward towards some of the preaching of Christ and make sure that we are part and parcel of his teaching.
One of the awardees at the event and Director General, Southeast Governors Forum, Senator Uche Hunife, assured that the Southeast governors are now working together to ensure that the region regains its pride of place in Nigeria.
I'm equally happy that I didn't go back so that people see the difference. I have almost injected over 15 kilometers Anambra State. I want to see people do that.
Cutting of the 40th anniversary cake, among numerous other activities, added glamour to the celebration in Awka. This is Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
School children in Oyi local government area have joined other counterparts all over the world to commemorate the 63rd independence celebration of Nigeria. The celebration, organized by the Transition Community Chairman of Oyi local government area, Mr. Mauro Nweke, took place at the council's secretariat in Teje. Correspondent Ngozi Obileri reports.
Attracted the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA members in Oyi, school principals and head teachers, National Youth Service Corps members in Oyi Council area, as well as pupils and students. Addressing the gathering, the TC chairman Mr. Nweke explained that Nigeria has fared well, though certain policies of the federal government has caused untold hardship to Nigerians, and said that in no distant time, things will change for the better. Mr. Nweke maintained that Governor Soludo understood the pains the Anambra are passing through, which was why he introduced some palliatives to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal, recounting the palliatives to include free education to school children in Anambra State from primary to junior secondary, and maximum of 5,000 naira payment by students from senior secondary 1 to 3, 12,000 naira cash award to public servants in the state, which commenced last month, free antenatal and delivery for pregnant women in the state on government hospitals, and many others. He noted that his administration in Oyi local government area has keyed into the governor's environmental-friendly policy to promote green, clean and sustainable environment, organized school debates anchored on environmental sustainability, introduced sanitation exercise in the council area, embarked on the silting of drainages in the area, and so many other achievements. Mr. Nweke commended the governor for providing adequate security in the state, which made it possible for the events to take place simultaneously in all the 21 local government areas of the state, and urged him not to relent.
On the Solution Innovation District, we have over 809 people from Oyi that they enrolled. Some of them have gone through the mandatory training and certified to now begin to engage in self-employment. The essence of that SID, Solution Innovation District, Digital Tribe of the State, is to train well over 20,000 Anambra youths in ICT in various fields.
Earlier in a kola nut ritual, the traditional ruler of Okozo, Professor Charles Anakweze, prayed for growth and development of the country and Anambra State in particular, and urged the youths not to indulge in acts that can mar their future. The event featured march past by pupils and students, while St. Raphael Primary School Okozo, Community Primary School Unteje, and National Primary School Unteje took first, second, and third positions respectively in the primary school category. Mount Olive Secondary School Umunya and Sacred Heart Secondary School Unteje took first and second positions respectively in the secondary school category, even as cultural dance by Mount Olive Secondary School NYC members added color to the event. From Oyi Council Secretariat Unteje, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
Still to come in the news tonight, federal government to commence disbursement of 50,000 naira to market women. A 14-year-old boy allegedly kills 2 people in Thailand mall shooting. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. That's giving marks for support for the task ahead. News returns shortly after the break.
Oats. Delicious in taste, good source of fiber and energy. There is no denying. Quaker Oats is an amazing start to your day. Quaker Oats, goodness.
Back to the rest of the news. Federal government will this month commence disbursement of its Iyaloja funds to 1.5 million market women across the country to boost their capital and businesses. Under the program, which will feature disbursement in 3 phases, government will give non-interest loans to each beneficiary. It will also embark on its renewed Hope Shelter program, which will provide housing for the poor, internally displaced persons and refugees. Under the initiative, instead of using contractors, communities will be mobilized to build houses for themselves and by themselves. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, disclosed this when she visited Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Malagi, in Abuja. Yam is venerated as a king of all crops in Igbo land by Ndibo, which is why they celebrate and accord it so much respect. No wonder the traditional ruler of Umweri, Igwe Sabeneth Emeka, Umweri Royal Cabinet, Umweri General Assembly, and the entire people of Umweri Okebo Kingdom is in Anambra East Local Government Area celebrated their 2023 New Yam Festival in a grand style. Our correspondent, Jideka Okoye, was there and now reports.
This year's Iwaju Umweri, held at the Palace of Igwe Okebo II, was unique as some friends of Umweri and prominent in the Anambra who have contributed to human and societal development were conferred with chieftaincy titles. Dignitaries of different calibers from far and near, including traditional rulers of different communities, industrialists, business associates, to mention but a few, also came to share in the joy of Igwemeka and the people of Umweri. Different groups, Umuada, Ndiduru, youths, organizations, porters, kindreds, families and individuals in Umweri, as well as business associates, traditional rulers, friends and well-wishers of Umweri, paid homage to Igwe Okebo and made different presentations. Igwemeka, while performing the ceremony of breaking of kola nut, prayed for sustenance of lasting peace in Umweri for sustainable development, emphasizing that the festival is to thank God for bountiful harvest and other good things in Umweri for the year, while others and invitees were presented with roasted yam and red oil garnished with traditional condiments. The Umweri monarch, who commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo for his development strides in the state, especially for granting free education to pupils of primary schools and students of secondary schools from JSS 1 to JSS 3, urged parents to use the opportunity to train their children in school. The Commissioner for Social Welfare and Women Affairs, Mrs. Ifio Binabo, and her education counterpart, Professor Ngozi Chimude, represented by the Senior Education Officer Otocha Zone, Mr. Charles Odife, noted that Iwaju is always unique due to the personality of Igwemeka, as it always portrays the features of Igbo culture, noting the significance of New Yam Festival and the promotion of Igbo culture, urging women to work towards promotion of their culture. Some of the Igwe's cabinet, High Chief Ebuna Okechi, Chief Sunday Iluemono, and the chairman 2023 Iwaju Chief Eugene Arebe, said that yam is the major crop they have, and celebration of Iwaju each year signifies the arrival of the new yam and good tidings, and a time to thank God for bountiful harvest. The event featured a non-denominational church service, cultural displays, masquerading, traditional wrestling, among other presentations. From Umueri, Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
From the foreign scenes, a teen suspected of shooting 2 people dead at an upscale shopping mall in Thailand has been charged with 6 counts, including premeditated murder, police said. The 14-year-old boy was arrested on Tuesday shortly after the shooting rampage at the busy Siam Paragon Mall in central Bangkok, a bustling commercial and tourist district. A Chinese citizen and a Myanmar national were killed in the shooting, and 5 others, 3 Thai citizens, a Chinese national and a Laos national, were injured with varying degrees of severity. Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Kanchana Patarachok said today. Police Major General Nakarina Shuhasawit said the suspect was taken from Patum 1 police station, where he was being held, to a juvenile court in Bangkok today to hear the charges. They include premeditated murder, attempted murder, possessing a firearm without permission, carrying a firearm into a public area without permission, and shooting in a public area without permission. The suspect is reported to have mental health issues, and the current order the doctor said he's not in a state to be interrogated today. From the world of sports, Sports Minister Senator John Eno yesterday received rising gymnastics sensation Stephanie Onusirioka in his office in Abuja after the outstanding performance of the 13-year-old at the recently concluded National Youth Games in Asaba, Delta State. Little Stephanie won 4 gold medals in gymnastics, blazing the trail in the sport and displaying huge potentials of promise during the games. Senator Eno congratulated Stephanie for her spectacular achievements and promised that the ministry will pay close attention to her growth and development. At the National Youth Games in Asaba, Stephanie Onusirioka won gold medals in the gymnastic beam event, floor event, vault event, and topped it with another gold as the best all-round gymnast in the country in Asaba. At the penultimate National Sports Festival Edo 2020, the starlet picked up 1 gold, 2 silver medals, and a bronze medal. At the African Club Championship Pretoria 2019 and 2022, she picked up a gold medal too. The sports minister warmly received the young Stephanie as well as her mother, Mrs. Onusirioka, restating his commitment to the core mandates of his leadership. Before we go, let's take a short break.
These high-quality Quaker Oats. Delicious in taste, good source of fiber and energy. There is no denying. Quaker Oats is an amazing start to your day. Quaker Oats.
Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at Anambra Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television Oka. On Twitter, we are at ABS Radio TV. On Instagram, we are ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points that made the news again this evening. Petrol subsidy removal. Anambra State Assembly has urged private business owners to provide palliative package for their workers. Mrs. Soludo has repeated call for healthy nutrition to reduce health challenges. Federal government is to commence disbursement of 50,000 naira to market women. 14-year-old boy has allegedly killed 2 people in Thailand mall shooting. To end the news, here is a special message again. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values that's giving maximum support for the task ahead. And that's all in the news tonight. My name is Uchechukwu Ebonam. Good night.